Hello, ladies. So lesson 2 in our prep unit is all about prepping your items to sell. This one's pretty short and sweet, but it's items that are important and might not be thought of, and so I felt like it was important enough to include this just so that it gets your brain thinking along these terms and your items can sell for top dollar. So the first thing you obviously want to do before you can even prep your items to sell is to make sure to clean out those kids' closets, go through the dressers, go through shelves, go through the playroom, go through your attic, go through the garage, and look for all those items that meet the requirements to be sold at Persnickety's. We want you to bring all the things. The way you need to think of it is the inventory all depends on you as the consignor. The more items you bring, the more items you have to shop through, because hopefully other consignors are doing the same thing. We could not have a sale without your guys' inventory, so bring us everything as long as it meets the requirements. So once you've done that, don't forget to look for those big ticket items, so to speak, the big items. So think Hot Wheels, little Tykes cars, any of those type wagons, trampolines, like mini trampolines, bikes, any of those bigger things are big sellers and people are looking for those at the sale. So don't forget to bring those items as well. So once you've cleaned out all the things and you have your items gathered, the first thing you're going to start with, or one of the things, depending on what order you decide to go in, is you want to make sure that all of your clothing items are laundered. We do not want dirty clothing items brought into the sale. You don't want to purchase dirty clothing items, and we don't want you selling them either. So just make sure that you have laundered all of the clothing. As you're doing that, you want to make sure to check once again that the items are accepted brands for the clothing. We just did the first lesson on that, so you can go back and watch that if you missed it. So make sure that the items are accepted brands for the clothing. You want to check for too much wear. If it's super worn, faded, etc., then put it in a stack to donate or to do something else with, because that will not be accepted. You want to check for holes, stains, missing buttons, zippers, anything that would make the piece imperfect, because it will not be accepted at drop-off and will be rejected and sent back home. So just go in and check for all those things as you're getting ready to launder those clothing items. That way you're saving yourself a step of having to deal with that when you're actually entering and tagging your items. So laundering your clothing is super important. Once you've laundered it, the quickest thing that you can go in and do as well is you can go in and steam or iron those pieces, and go in and get them on hangers. I'm going to do in another unit all about how to correctly hang items, but that's another step you can go in and do if you would like. Just make sure that, like I said, those are steamed and ironed after you launder them at some point before you hang them for tagging. So laundering clothing, your shoes that you're bringing, remember we accept any brand shoes as long as they're correct season. So spring summer would be, obviously event would be spring summer shoes, fall winter event would be fall winter shoes. You want to make sure to wash those shoes that can be washed. One thing I have found, I don't know if any of you follow the Go Clean Co on Instagram. During quarantine they blew up and became huge. If not, I would suggest following her. She's based in Canada and she's amazing. But Powdered Tide is basically her best friend, and it has become my best friend thanks to her. So if you have dirty shoes that can be washed, my suggestion is to do a scoop of the original Powdered Tide, not liquid, and hot water. Throw your shoes in the wash and then let them soak. So let them sit there, or in a bucket if you cannot let them soak in the wash, for a good while. And then once you get them out, they will look brand new. If you can't do that, or if you wash them and they for some reason aren't completely spick and span, you can also take some Powdered Tide with just some hot water, mix it together, and get a little scrubbing brush or a toothbrush and go to town on the shoes that way. And it's amazing the difference, the literal filth it takes off the shoes, and your shoes will look brand new, which means you can get top dollar and that they will sell, which is what your goal is, hopefully, as you're consigning anyway. If you don't want to get the Powdered Tide, don't like Powdered Tide, or need something easier, you can always use a magic eraser on some shoes, and then also baby wipes work. But I have truly found that the best thing so far for the shoes that I've had a little grunge on them has been the Powdered Tide, original Powdered Tide. It's been amazing. So shoes need to be clean. We are not going to accept grungy shoes. And if they are super worn on the toes, or no matter what you do, they still look nasty, just put them in the donate pile because they will not be accepted onto our sales floor. The next thing you want to do is all those toys and all that baby equipment that you've gathered. You want to make sure to make sure it has all of the pieces, all of the equipment that it needs to go with it. So if you've got a swing, make sure that it has the plug if it has a plug, or the mobile if it has that goes with it, or the tray. If it's toys, make sure all the pieces are with it before you bring it to sale. That way it's not an incomplete set and people aren't unhappy if they purchase it. So you want to make sure all the pieces, all the parts are there first. Once you've done that, you want to make sure all those toys are clean and all that equipment is cleaned up. You can use, once again, hot water and Tide with a just rag and wipe everything down. You can also use baby wipes or magic erasers for that as well. And then you want to make sure that batteries are placed into any of the toys or baby equipment that need them so that it's in working order, because people are not going to purchase items if they don't know that they work. And so if you don't put batteries in them, they're going to assume that they do not work correctly. You can go to Dollar Tree and get super cheap batteries, which serve the purpose for what you need them for. So do not feel like you have to go out and buy the most expensive batteries possible. You do not, but you want to make sure that it is in working order so that they can see that what they're purchasing is what they're going to get, if that makes sense. So just some quick tips once again on that: cleaning out those closets, getting everything ready, laundering those clothing items, going on and checking for stains, holes, missing buttons, wear, brands, any of that, washing those shoes, cleaning them up. Shoe strings especially are important, so don't forget those. If you're washing the whole shoe, that should take care of that. Making sure all those toys have all the pieces, baby equipment has all their parts and pieces, cleaning all those up as well, and then batteries in things that need batteries. So that covers most of the prep. If you have questions about something that I haven't covered here, please, once again, always feel free to reach out to us. And thanks so much for watching.